In this video, I'm going to tell you 10 stupid things people do to lose weight. Stop doing these stupid things and you'll lose weight a lot faster, and you'll also be a lot healthier. If you want to control what you eat, control your body, and control your life, then hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. A lot of these tips I've heard over the years. I haven't implemented all of it. I've implemented some of it, but these are just really bad tips that I've heard over the years, and I don't know why people keep sharing them. I don't think they're good ideas, and I actually think they make people less healthy, and they actually contribute to weight gain more than they contribute to weight loss. So here we go. The first one is going gluten-free. I know gluten has become this boogeyman. I don't even know if people know what gluten is. It's just this chemical in food that causes all sorts of health problems. Well, all gluten is a naturally occurring protein in wheat, and most people can tolerate gluten. I think 95% of the people or the population can tolerate it without any effects. 1% are full-blown celiacs, if that, and then another 3 or 4% probably have some adverse reaction to gluten. But it's just amazing how everybody became gluten intolerant in just a matter of 10 years. I don't think cutting out gluten is necessarily healthy. It makes it harder, a lot harder actually, to order when you're at a restaurant or to find healthier options, because so many things have wheat. Now, a lot of bad stuff has wheat too, but when you cut out wheat, all you're doing is eliminating a lot of the food that you were overeating in the first place, and that's why a lot of people report weight loss when they cut out wheat. It's not really because they cut out the gluten, it's really just because they stopped overeating the stuff that had gluten, and the stuff that they traditionally overate contained gluten. So it's just misattribution, really. It wasn't really the gluten, it was the overeating that was the problem. Chances are you're probably not gluten intolerant. Closely related to that is cutting out carbs. I know a lot of people who cut out carbs and they say, oh, I got really healthy because I stopped eating carbs. Well, it's the same thing with gluten. It's not because you cut out carbs, it's just because it led to a spontaneous reduction in calories. And you were overeating everything that had carbs, and it just happened that the stuff that you overate the most and all your favorite junk food had carbohydrates. So when you cut out carbohydrates, you didn't have anything to snack on anymore. It's a lot harder to snack on stuff like avocados and beef jerky and bacon and cheese than it is to snack on, say, chips and crackers and all the other convenience food. Most processed food contains some sort of carbohydrate because it's so cheap, and carbs are so versatile. But when you cut out carbs, you make it really hard on yourself, because it's hard to find products that you like. It's hard to eat out. It's hard to accept gifts. It's hard to go to parties. Your life is just harder overall when you cut out carbs, and you really don't need to do that. I can make a whole video on why you should eat carbs, but some of the reasons include energy levels, taste, flavor, convenience, flexibility, also for hormonal production, and also it's cheaper to eat a lot of carbs than it is to eat a lot of fat and a lot of protein. There are so many advantages to carbs that cutting it out is really hard, and it's really unnecessary, and it's not necessarily going to make you healthier. So the third tip is overanalyzing everything. This is more of a mistake than a tip, but I know some people say you got to track everything to the T, and you got to make this your number one goal in life, and you have to make this your focus, and it has to be an obsession. If you watch my other videos, I like tracking, but that's just me. I like to weigh stuff, I like to measure stuff, I like to keep graphs, because I'm a geek. But you don't necessarily have to do that. If you don't like doing it, then don't do it. You don't have to analyze every nutrition label. You don't have to track everything. You don't have to have a chart for everything. You don't have to be very meticulous about it at all. I like to say press play and then just let it run. That way you're not obsessing every day. Weight loss is healthy, and it's probably something that you should do. I'm glad I did it too, but it shouldn't be the number one goal in your life, and it shouldn't be the only thing you care about like it was for me for so long. It was like this overarching goal was to achieve some ideal weight, and I was ignoring everything else in my life, and now I regret it because that was a tremendous opportunity cost. I could have been doing so many other things, and I could have been focusing on so many other things. Instead I was just chasing some number, and when I actually achieved it, I wasn't that happy. I mean, it was gratifying to finally reach it, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, my life is totally different now, and I'm so happy, and I'm so fulfilled, and I'm self-actualized. I didn't have that feeling at all. I just found different problems to solve. Okay, the next tip that you've probably heard is eating low-fat and diet foods. You see a lot of these, like low sugar, lighten this, reduce salt, reduce this, reduce that, diet soda. I've made a video about diet soda, or soda in general, but diet soda, other than the sugar, it's really not healthier for you. And a lot of these other foods that are like low in something, they're low in something, but they're also low in flavor, and they also sacrifice texture. They're just never quite the same. I mean, just compare a regular Pepsi to a diet Pepsi and tell me if it's the same. It's probably not. In fact, I can tell the difference. When you eat stuff that's lower in salt, it doesn't have the same flavor or the same texture. I remember when back in the 90s they replaced fat, like vegetable oils, and they replaced it with something called Olestra, and it caused loose stools. So people were crapping their pants. So it had fewer calories and less fat, but it had really nasty side effects, which is not cool. Also, those foods are never the same. They never satiate you the same way that the regular food does. So it's like you're consuming something, but you're not really getting what you want, and it leaves you unsatisfied. And you're probably going to end up eating what you really wanted in the first place. So then it's like you've consumed the calories from the reduced fat version, and now you're just eating the regular version. So did you really help yourself? My advice, just eat what you want. Just eat the flavors that you want. Don't eat reduced salt or reduced fat or reduced carbs or diet this or diet that. I find that people who have some sort of eating disorders, they tend to fall for these kind of traps because they're fooling themselves. They're like, oh, if I drink a diet soda, then I can binge on this. Or if I eat reduced fat crackers, then I can indulge on this. And so really what they're doing is they're just reallocating the calories that they're eating, but they're not reducing the overall calories. Okay, the next one, snacking. I think there are two options you have. You can either eat 3 square meals a day, which some people advocate, breakfast, lunch, dinner. If you do that, you're going to be fine. You're going to be healthy. You don't have to eat in a 4-hour window like some people are doing these days. You don't have to eat 1 meal a day like other people are doing. You don't have to eat this mountain of food at night and then go the rest of the day without eating, because really at the end it's about calories. It's not really about insulin, as I've explained before. Or you can do kind of what I do and graze. I kind of like to eat a little bit here, a little bit there. I don't like to eat large meals anymore. They're not very satisfying. I always feel terrible after eating it. Maybe it reminds me of my binge eating days, and so I don't like to eat large meals. So I just kind of eat a little bit throughout the day, not like 24 hours, but in a 6 to 8 hour window. I just kind of like graze here, eat here, nibble on this. Maybe it's a bad habit. I don't know. It works for me. The worst thing you can do is eat 3 square meals and then snack in the middle of that. If you're snacking between meals, maybe you just weren't eating enough. If you're snacking between meals, maybe you just didn't eat enough at your meal. Maybe your meals aren't big enough. Maybe they're not satisfying. Maybe eating 4 rice cakes isn't that healthy, and maybe it's not satisfying you. So like I said, it's either 3 square meals or graze. But don't do the 3 square meals and then graze between. That's when things really add up. Next, choosing a diet. Don't ever choose a diet. Somebody asked me the other day, what kind of diet are you on? Like vegetarian? Are you vegan? Are you paleo? Are you doing low carb? Are you doing high carb? And I was like, I don't do anything. I don't subscribe to any category. I don't subscribe to any one diet. I just eat. Remember, watch the video on eating an ideal diet. Eat from every food group. Don't cut out anything. Because you're going to miss out on something. You're going to miss some essential nutrients, so don't do that. I just try to eat as unprocessed as I can. I eat from every food group. I graze because that's what works for me. Okay, don't choose a diet. Don't go into these chat forums about keto. Like, everybody's talking about keto, and they're saying how great keto is and why you should do the keto diet. Some of these diets have kind of turned into religions of their own. So don't do that. Just follow the basics, follow the fundamentals, and you'll be fine. You don't need to choose a diet. Okay, the next bad tip is having a cheat day. How many times have you heard people who go Monday through Friday, they eat very well, and then on the weekends they blow it? Like, they don't have that structure anymore. I think that's part of the problem. Or some people deliberately cheat one day of the week. Okay, so they do really well, let's say Sunday through Friday, and then that one day they have a cheat day, whatever that is. I hate the whole word cheat, because cheat implies that you're doing something naughty, like you're breaking a law or you're breaking some rule. You shouldn't have a lot of rules. Okay, that's part of the problem. I had so many rules when I had my eating disorder. I had so many different rules and regulations, and I always broke them. Never mattered how many rules that I had. But you should try to eat the same, more or less, every day. I'm not saying every day should be like Thanksgiving. I mean, obviously there are exceptions to that. But if you really like pizza, why don't you just have pizza on a Tuesday? Why don't you have pizza when you really like it? And if you're going to get pizza, get the best pizza you can. Don't cheat yourself. Don't get like the reduced fat pizza. Who wants reduced fat pizza? That sounds terrible to me. Get all of the oil, all of the salt, all the cheese that you want. Just have the best piece of pizza that you can. But don't plan it. Just do it when you really feel like it. When you really have a craving for it. You probably shouldn't do it every day, but don't call it a cheat day. If you feel the need to cheat, maybe it's because the other days of the week aren't that exciting, and maybe your diet is really boring. You can only subsist on plain oats and broiled chicken for so long. So just ask yourself, why are you cheating? Why do you feel the need to cheat? Okay, next, avoiding fruit sugar. I know sugar is kind of a bad word these days. It's almost like a 4-letter word. We hear all this stuff about fructose and sugar is bad for you, and sugar is going to give you non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it's going to raise blood pressure, and it's going to make you diabetic. Okay, there's a lot of hype about sugar. The fruit you find in fruit sugar is actually really good. Even the stuff in dates, but especially stuff like papayas, bananas, oranges, apples. Remember, there's so many good reasons to eat fruit. Fruit is inversely related to so many health problems that we have, and people who eat 4 or 5 servings of fruit each day, they tend to live longer and they tend to be healthier. Fruit is usually associated with longevity and a long, healthy life. So if you're not eating fruit, you're missing out. You shouldn't drink 2 or 3 cans of soda each day. You shouldn't be eating a ton of Starburst and Skittles. That's probably not a good idea. Go back and watch my previous video on fructose. But just because bananas have a few grams of fructose doesn't mean you shouldn't eat bananas. One of my favorite foods is dates. Dates have a ton of sugar. I've never noticed any adverse effects. I remember when I was on a plane one time and I was eating a date, and some guy asked me, "Are you a vegan?" And I said, "No." "Why do you ask?" And he says, "Because you're eating dates, and dates are the healthiest kind of food." I remember kind of like laughing to myself, like, whoever told this guy that dates were the healthiest food? Well, maybe they're not the healthiest food, but they're really delicious and they have a lot of sugar. And if you're moderately active, you're probably going to be okay. The advantages of fruit far outweigh the disadvantages of the fructose that they have in them, so don't worry about the fructose. Next, buying really expensive superfoods and specialized foods. At one point, I had to buy everything at Whole Foods and Trader Joe's because I couldn't find it at traditional grocery stores. That's when you know your diet kind of sucks, because you have to buy everything really particular and everything's really expensive, and you have to have a particular flavor from a particular brand. It makes things really expensive and complicated, and you're going to be spending $150, $200 a week just to feed yourself, when really you could be feeding yourself for $50 or $60 a week and still be healthy. So it's like, what's the point? You don't need to do that. You don't need to buy everything that you see on your Instagram feed. You don't need to buy a ton of protein powder. You don't need to buy a ton of supplements. In fact, you can probably eat really healthy for $10 a day, assuming you're eating about 2,000 calories. $10 a day is not that much. That meal I just bought at Chipotle was $10.50. Okay, just by comparison. That's just one meal, and that only gives me 1/3 of the calories I need for the day. So if I ate Chipotle 3 times a day, that'd be $30 a day. But you can eat pretty well for $10 a day. Trust me, I've done it. You should be able to buy everything that you need to buy at a traditional grocery store. Even a discount grocery store should have everything that you need. And finally, detoxing. Everybody talks about detoxing. You need the detox. You need to do a juice cleanse. You need to do a water fast. You need to go to some retreat. Here's the truth. Your liver is always detoxing for you. That's its job. Every time you take a medication, that's why you're only getting a fraction of the efficacy of any drug. So when you take a pain drug, you're only getting 5 or 10% of its maximum effectiveness, because as soon as you swallow that drug, it goes to your liver and it starts processing it and it starts eliminating those toxins. That's detoxing. There's no evidence behind detoxing. I think it's just one of those things that sounds really healthy, and people make a lot of money selling detoxifying programs, and they sell cleanses and juices and say this is going to detoxify you. Thing is, you're always exposed to toxins. If you live in the modern world, there's no way to avoid it. Just by breathing the air, just by drinking tap water, just by going outside into the sunlight, you're exposing yourself to toxins all the time. Well, thank God for your liver, because your liver is always working. It's been working since the day you were born. So maybe you should give thanks to your liver. But the difference between a liver and all these detox programs is that your liver is free. You don't have to buy your liver again. I hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Which of these things have you done, and which of these things are you going to stop doing? Let me know in the comments below. I also want to know what other stupid things you've done that I didn't mention in this video. I want to thank Focus Me. Focus Me is an app that eliminates distractions and keeps me focused while I make these videos. I also want to thank Auret and Jewel, a Satino artist. If you need help with YouTube SEO, Camtasia, Etsy, fulfillment by Amazon, or course creation, you can hit up Auret and Jewel. There is a link in the description box. Don't forget to check out my free 7-day challenge that I just launched. Stop overeating in 7 days. There is also a link below. And if you want to speak with me, there is another link in the description box. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.